You are living proof that the Divergent problem has grown beyond all control.
So congratulations on Insurgent. What's changed with Triss in this film?
A lot has changed with Triss. I mean, Triss in the first film was trying to prove herself because she needed to survive and she needed to stay in Dauntless and make it. In this movie, I think she isn't about proving herself, but she's about ensuring that there's a fairness in the world that she lives in. And with that, it can seem that she's angry or darker, but I think ultimately what it is, she's very broken, and she's confused, and she's lost, and she's deeply hurt, and she knows that there's justice to be sought, and so she commits her life to it.
Mm-hmm. And obviously it's a year since we've done this. What's changed with you as Triss has kind of changed? How have you changed?
A lot. I mean, we all constantly change, right? Like every day we wake up, we're a little bit different. But a lot has changed in my personal life, and then my business life, I'm just a little bit busier, but other than that, everything's the same.
Yeah. And what I love about this film is it's an action film and it's got such amazing female leads across the board. Is that what drew you to this film, and do you think that's something that's really important for the genre?
Females? Yeah, I do think it's really important. I think it's wonderful that females are finally starting to have the opportunity to engage in roles that are not just the girlfriend, the mother, the neighbor, the lover, but have their own strength and have their own colors. And I think they always have in film, but it's just been a lot smaller percentage. But another thing I love about this movie is that there's also an equal amount of men in it, and a lot of strong men. And I think to have that balance is really necessary.
Mm-hmm. And you've got some amazing stunt scenes. And I've heard you speak about one part in particular where you've got a lot of stunt doubles. What's it like kind of walking around on set and being like, there's loads of me right now?
It's really funny, actually, because from behind, we all look exactly the same. From the front, obviously, we look different, but you see these wigs, and I couldn't really believe how wonderful wig makers are and how their hair looked exactly like my hair.
What do you think it is about Triss and Four that people love about that relationship? Because whenever we feature something about the films, we get so many comments about Triss Four, and what do you think it is that's special about that?
I think people are really, they love that they support one another so much and they respect one another so much. And also it's sexier to see a couple who's not all over each other constantly, or who's not obsessing about why doesn't he like me, or why, their relationship is, I don't think Triss at any point in this film questions how Four will validate her, and he doesn't ever question how she will validate him. It's not about validating their existence, it's about recognizing who each other are and how they can be supportive for one another.
And how do you think they've kind of changed how they are with each other? Because they obviously know each other a little better, but they are still kind of discovering things about each other.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're trying to figure out how they can aid each other in their own personal missions, while also not inhibiting the growth that they each have to go through on their own individual basis.
Dark times call for extreme measures.
She's never gonna stop coming after us.
And what's your favourite thing about being involved with a franchise like this?
I think maybe returning to the same cast every year is really, there's something really wonderful about that, a sense of ease and comfortability, and it's also just fun. It's fun to feel, and maybe it's different on other franchises, but this franchise, everyone is very close, and everyone does really respect and get along with one another.
And you have quite a lot of exciting new additions to this cast as well as kind of the returning characters. Was there anyone in particular that you were really looking forward to working with, or someone that you maybe hadn't met that you were surprised you got along with really well?
I had met Octavia a little bit throughout. She was doing The Help and I was doing The Descendants, so our paths just kept intertwining. But I got to know her a little bit better on this film, and she's someone who walks into a room and is so fully herself that you can't help but fall in love with her. Her enthusiasm for life is contagious, and her commitment to saying what she feels like saying is unprecedented.
And the last thing I want to ask you is, you're a cover girl at the moment, which is great. And you say in the interview that you being on the cover of a magazine was never something you kind of wanted to do or thought you would ever do. Is there anything else you've done that you just thought would never ever happen?
A franchise, actually. I remember growing up, a TV show and a franchise, growing up acting, started when I was 5, and those were two things that I always said to myself. I said, I will never be on a TV show because I wanted to stay in school, and I never wanted it to take me out of school. And I was like, and I'll never, and then once I got a little bit older, I thought I'll never be in a franchise because I never wanted, I guess, this sort of global amount of recognition.
Mm-hmm.
And ultimately, I'm so grateful for this opportunity and the beauty that has come into my life from it. But it is funny how when you say never say never.
Yeah.
Let's just leave it at that.
Great.
The Divergent series, Insurgent, rated PG-13. Experience it in IMAX 3D March 20th.